What's up, guys? Pyromaniac720 here, and I have for you round 3 from West Hartford. My opponent was Mancini, I think it was? Mancini? I don't remember how to pronounce it. He goes by Jam828 in the video game world. So, for this match, I looked at the team preview, and I decided not to bring Trick Room, and I decided not to bring Mega Ampharos. So, the team I brought was Pangoro, Amoonguss, Rotom Heat, and Staraptor. So I was going to try and beat him without Trick Room. So at team preview, he had an Excadrill. And I was like, yo, you can't use Excadrill? And he's like, oh, well, I don't think they care. Like, they don't really care what I use. And I'm like, well, I care. Like, I didn't want him using an Excadrill. Like, that could beat me. Like, I don't... It was poor logic on his part. I didn't see why he thought that I'd be okay with him using an illegal Pokemon that I had... I mean, I had plenty of answers for it. I one-hit KO'd it with 3 of my 4 Pokemon I brought, but... I mean, for all I know, it could have been Scarfed and could have just, like, swept through my team, which would have been bad news. But, nonetheless, let's just get into the battle. So, looking at his team, the only thing I was super concerned about, right when I led, I was like, this wasn't very smart on my part. I ended up, I brought Pangoro when I saw he had a Sylveon in team preview. So... I assumed that he was either going to, protect his Scizor or withdraw it. So, I thought what was going to happen was I thought he was going to protect or withdraw his Scizor and then like Hydro Pump me or Scald my Rotom. So I protected my Rotom, and I went for the U-turn onto his Greninja, which almost KOs it, but not quite. So Adamant not quite strong enough. Then I send out Amoonguss. Greninja goes for the Ice Beam and ends up hitting Amoonguss with it, which does a pretty good chunk of damage because Greninja's a hard hitter, which has like a stab for every move, which is pretty cool. So I protect this turn with Amoonguss, fearing any kind of incoming Brave Bird, which comes in on Amoonguss. And here comes the Scald, which is what I was fearing. I don't know how much damage Scald does, but I find out that it doesn't KO, which is good to know. I'm assuming if he was running Life Orb, I would have KO'd him. So I take out the Talonflame because I know I have Pangoro in the back and I have Staraptor, which Talonflame can beat depending on what item it's using. So he sends out Sylveon, which I know Sylveon's probably going to give me the most trouble on his team. So I Rage Powder with Amoonguss, fearing Scald. I'm just praying he doesn't have Hyper Voice. So he Scalds Amoonguss. Amoonguss survives it because it's not very effective. My Amoonguss is very specially defensive. Then I go in for the Thunderbolt on Greninja and pick up the KO. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about my match. I'm up 4-2 right now. He goes for the Moonblast onto Amoonguss. And once again, Amoonguss is bulky enough to survive because Amoonguss is a god. So in comes Scizor. At this point, I'm worried that he's going to protect the Scizor, which he reveals to be Mega Scizor. So I double protect to kind of draw out his protect. And so I'm just kind of like scouting, seeing what's going on. He ends up going for the Bullet Punch onto Amoonguss. And he ends up going, I think, for the Moonblast onto... Oh, Dazzling Gleam. So he goes for the Dazzling Gleam. So... I assume he's not going to protect, so I know the Bullet Punch is incoming, so I decide to switch out Amoonguss and save it, and switch in Staraptor. That way I can get Intimidate off and make Scizor a little less threatening. And I figure I'd just go for the Overheat. I know I outspeed the Sylveon, so I just go for the Overheat onto Scizor. Luckily it hits, thank God, and I'm able to pick up the KO. So now I'm up 4-2. However, it's one of the scariest 4-2s I've ever been in because in the back I have a Amoonguss with 6 HP and I have Pangoro, which is 4 times weak to Dazzling Gleam. So like if this Brave Bird plus Overheat doesn't KO this Sylveon, then like I'm probably gonna lose. But luckily, Brave Bird's able to KO cleanly, so I pick up the win, end up 4-0ing the guy, which is pretty cool. I don't know, 4. Oh no, I ended up 3-0ing. That's right, because I had a recoil. I forgot about that. He was all pumped about that. He goes, "Yes, no 4-0." But yeah, I met him before at Foxwoods at a tournament I held, and he's a really cool guy. He ended up going 0-4 in the tournament, but he had the highest resistance in the whole tournament. So kind of sucks for him. I guess he's had bad draws. But so at this point in the tournament, I'm 2-1. I have to win my last round. Looking at the matchup, I see that Jabberwocky's 2-1, Caleb Blitzenburst is 2-1, Professor Shroomish is 2-1. So I'm like, I'm gonna play one of these guys. Like they're all good players, and I know I'm gonna get matched up with one of them. So stay tuned to find out which one of them I play in round 4.